to my members, to the loyalists, and to the loyalist contributors. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Welcome into this comments video. Let's get right to it. And please stay tuned for a grammar lesson at the very end. So the record says, there was a two-part question I didn't seize the opportunity to ask during the seminar. Maybe you could answer during your next viewers comments video. That's funny reading that, you know, these terms of phrase that we use. You know, look, there's an opportunity going by. Ooh, let's seize it. Seize that shit, bro. Ooh, I cussed in the first minute or two of this video. I hope that doesn't hurt my algorithm. Anyways, it's just funny the way we word things. So this individual, their name is Rob. They were at the free webinar that I did on April 24th, 2026, and that's what they're referring to. So he says, do you consider property taxes to be a trespass? If so, that's interesting. They put a question mark and then a comma. If so, have you been successful in shutting down offers to contract with you regarding property taxes? All right. So the reason why I put this comment up here is I want to show you the kuleana, the discourse between Rob and myself. And this is going to be what I would call a correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, psychology lesson. Beginning with the way Rob worded this, where he said, first he asked, do you consider property taxes to be a trespass? Now that's the question, okay? And then they're going on to add in some, what you would call what? Theoretical scenarios, devil's advocate type scenarios. If so, have you been successful in shutting down offers to contract? So the way you would shut down an offer to contract is just say no. It's pretty simple. And if someone forces you to contract, then that's not contract. That's an act of war. There's no contract there. At that point, it is a trespass. So let's just get to the question. I do believe the first question answers the second, because you said correct sentence structure works 100% of the time, and I doubt you would ever allow an attempt to trespass upon you go the distance rather than squashing it. But for the sake of Toltec wisdom, rather than I assume, I ask. But actually there are assumptions built into that, and you're going to see that become apparent as we move forward here. So then my kuleana to Rob was, I'll answer here and in a video. My answer is, it depends. I have in the past successfully used correct sentence structure to stop a perceived trespass from a state taxed entity. Yes, but it all depends upon the scenario for me. So yes, I've gone into detail about this in past videos years ago when a state tax entity, i.e. the quote-unquote state of Arizona, was levying a tax against me back in 2017 or 18. I can't remember which year it was. It was a long time ago for me. And the tax was not that big of a deal, but the fees and the penalties were way more than what the tax was. So I thought that was a good opportunity to use correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar in a document contract postal vessel court venue. I created a perpetual case. I went through all the postal mechanics, the banking mechanics, the flag mechanics, the grammar mechanics, and I stopped that trespass. I basically sent them, as an experiment, keep in mind I was new at this, the fee, the tax. I sent them the tax saying that I was more than happy to help pay the wages of the laborers who are taking care of the roads that I drive on, or whatever, you know, to keep the gas flowing in the pipes and the water and whatever else needs to be done, the landscaping. More than happy to contribute to all that the services that I use on a daily basis. However, I did not have a contract for these ridiculous penalties and fees and whatever. They sent me back a letter saying, thank you very much, we're square. And I never heard from them again. So that was my experience at that time with a particular state tax entity. So that's my answer. It depends, because it does depend. It depends upon you, yourself. And I'm speaking to you, Rob. It depends upon you. Do you think it's a trespass or not? I mean, you know what a trespass is, right? If someone comes up to you and slaps you in the face for no reason, well, I mean, there's a reason, but they just come up and slap you in the face, would you deem that a trespass? If someone comes up to you and caresses your cheek, do you deem that a trespass? You know, it all depends upon you and your perception. That is why I said I stopped a perceived trespass, because I perceived those penalties and fees as a trespass. So then Rob goes on to say, I'm specifically referring to property taxes. Considering the rule of apportionment, my opinion is not being adhered to. Is a fictional issue. I'm guessing your opinion on it is probably different. And then I say, if this is a personal matter and you feel you are being trespassed and damaged by a property tax entity, you may certainly handle it using correct sentence structure. The key is to know what you are doing and be prepared for every negative scenario you can imagine. I'm not saying that negative scenarios will happen. I'm saying be prepared if they do. Bottom line, it's your call, not mine. If you want to use correct sentence structure to handle such a thing, learning it first is definitely a necessity for a positive outcome. Or pay someone to handle it for you. I recommend learning the grammar and handling it yourself if it is indeed a personal matter. So see, what I'm recommending and suggesting to Rob, because they asked, and because this is a correct sentence structure channel where I teach correct sentence structure specifically, I don't teach how to handle property taxes or anything like that. I don't give legal or lawful advice. None of that. I teach grammar. So I'm telling Rob, I highly recommend learning the grammar. Then you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to answer it. Now, they were asking me my position on that, and I told them. In the first response, Kuliana, that I gave, I told them. Then he goes on to say, it's just a hypothetical. From the sound of it, you may possibly not consider property taxes to be a trespass, which may or may not answer my question. I apologize if this is not appropriate. Thank you. And then I say, I ask that you don't assume what I think or don't think. I told you what I think. It depends upon the scenario. You are presenting a general hypothetical, yet seem to be arriving at specific assumptions regarding what I think or don't think. I have no volition to control your assumptions. However, I ask that you do not project them upon me on this channel. Perhaps if you would gain full closure on the grammar, you would most likely be able to answer all these hypothetical generalities with ease. And then they say, Roger that. I edited my comment to remove assumption and am humbled by your pointing out my mistake and again apologize for doing what is not appropriate here on your vessel. It will not happen again. And then I say, for the claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the claim of the gratitude, with the claimant's witness of the robber's performance, with the humility of the perception, with the claimant, Jason Matthew by the glass. And backwards. For the glass of the claimant, Jason Matthew, is with the perception of the humility, with the robber's performance of the claimant's witness, with the gratitude of the claim, with the facts by the claimant's knowledge, full stop. So I'm just saying I am cognizing Rob's humility, and I definitely honor that, that someone possesses such humility, because very few people do. So I feel that Rob has the capacity, the neurological pathways, the temperament to use correct sentence structure successfully in the arenas that he's hypothetically bringing to this comments field. It's just up to him to do it. Thank you for the comment, Rob, and for the opportunity to share this lesson with the other viewers. Next comment is from TikTok, from someone named Lizzie Longtoes. And they say, how does one transfer? Now, this is in a context of a video that I posted on TikTok regarding, how shall I say this? Well, there is no other way to say it. Regarding the fictitious conveyance of grammar contained upon the live life claim templates sold by people endorsed by Russell-J Gould for $250 to $300 a pop. It's regarding that. It's incorrect grammar, incorrect witnessing mechanics, and everything. The whole thing, if you want a correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar claim of the live life, that is not it. Okay? It may be a different kind of live life claim for some other quantum gobbledygook construct, but it's not quantum grammar. And so Lizzie Longtoes is asking, how does one transfer? Meaning, how does one transfer from this $250 fictitious conveyance of grammar document to a correct document, live life claim? And my Kuleana is, learning correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar would be a great start. Marcos says, I bought the Red Fox stamp, $1. Once it gets expensive. But I'm going to file a case against Title 4D using syntax parse. I appreciate this comment. Unfortunately, I don't know what in the blue hell this guy is talking about. I don't know what case are they going to file against the Title 4D. What's the Title 4D? What is that? And what is syntax parse? I know they probably mean correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar. But it does irk me a little bit that people just can't either use quantum grammar to describe it for the ease of the communication, or write out the whole entire correct thing that DAVID-WYNN Miller created. Well, okay. Stop and correct. I don't know if DAVID-WYNN Miller created it, but he brought it to the public. And he put an enormous amount of work into it. Like, astronomical amount of work into it. And you can at least honor that by using the correct terminology, in my view. So again, Marcos, thank you for the comment, but I have no idea what you're saying there. Next comment comes from Bev Gress, and they say, looking for a Red Fox stamp gold-backed. And then I respond, Google is a wonderful resource. Do people really not know how to research things on the internet? Or even using books at a library? Are people that intellectually challenged? I find that I'm incredulous. James Flannery says, if someone puts a colon at the beginning of a sentence instead of for the, how do we know whether the author intends for the, for this, or for these? I would guess for the is the default. And then I give Kuleana and I say, great guess, because it is a great guess. A colon represents a positional loadial phrase, whether it's for the, of the, with the, or by the. I've said this ad nauseum, literally probably thousands of times. So yes, the default is the, James. Very good guess. All right, folks, here comes the knowledge cultivation portion of the video. Drum roll, please. Have some of your cool, refreshing, or hot beverage, and let's get to it. James Flannery says, you could maybe say concept material also to distinguish it from solid matter like a shovel. What is he actually referring to? Well, let's Let's see. I'm going to show you a video and show you what they are talking about. This video is from November of 2019, so it's a very old video from my view. And this is what James is talking about. This is when I did the salvage claim on the word ዄTI, because I needed to find, at the time I felt I needed to find an alternative, a positive performance alternative to the particle of negation word use or usury, because it's a vowel in front of a consonant at the beginning of a word means no contract. And this is what I came up with. ዄTI of this finite mean is with the grasp, hold, or possession of a tool, matter, or material with a single, multiple, or perpetual performance flow of the handler with the contract by this claim. Now this was back before I started hyphenating the CON-TRACT in contract because of the particle of negation contra. Again, that's a caveat to this channel. You can learn with me as I go, and you will exponentially actually increase your knowledge level while seeing mine also increase as you watch the videos, if you so choose. So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about tool, matter, and material. Let's go back to their comment. You could maybe say concept material to distinguish it from solid matter like a shovel. Now there's nothing in the finite mean that I just showed you that, from my view, needs a separation in there or a specificity. Nothing needs to be zeroed in here. It's the finite mean is complete in and of itself. So I know that James does not have closure in the grammar, and so I know that's the position that they're speaking from. So not only that, I want to see where they are speaking from and see what their psychological position is with concerns to this topic. Interesting that they put concept material in parentheses when they already have their plain simple English in brackets. Very interesting. I wonder why they would do that. But that's neither here nor there. So I respond with a question mark and then also a video. I believe I did a short video Kuliana to them, which, hell, might as well watch that too. Hello there, James. Thank you very much for your comment. I'm not sure you're aware, but this video that you're commenting on is 7 years old. And it was published in 2019. It's now 2026. So the year and a day salvage drogue that I placed upon the video stands because no one challenged me on this video or anything I said in it. So it all stands. Of course, it's open source, free for you to use if you want to. You don't need my permission to do that. Now, with regards to your comment, to me that is correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar, common sense, basic level 1 contract writing. If you need to give closure to something, if you need to separate something from another thing, you would necessarily come up with the correct sentence structure, finite mean for that word, plus all the periphery adjacent terms with correct sentence structure, finite means for those as well. It's called a dictionary. My code dictionary has 2,000 or more correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar terms in them, all written in quantum grammar. What does your dictionary look like? Just out of curiosity, James, I'd like to see it. Because if you don't have one and you're on the path to learning this stuff, I would highly recommend starting one, because that is the document that would govern your construct, your correct sentence structure construct. That's all your closure right there. Your own dictionary, your own styles manual, so on and so forth. I appreciate you going back and looking at these older videos, because that's why I put them up here. That's why I've been doing this since February of 2018. It's my gift to you. I appreciate your comments. I see you're interested in this stuff. If you're really, really, really serious about this, you would contact me, jasonmatthewg17@gmail.com. Get up on the horse and start taking workshops. Otherwise, I mean, I will predict, I can't say this for sure, but I will predict, based upon 9 years of doing this, that you're going to be commenting basically the same level of questions a year from now or 2 years from now until you start taking the workshops. That's not a sales pitch or anything like that. That's just facts. That's just what I've seen happen in the last 9 years. So again, welcome in. Thank you for the comment, and I wish you well on your correct sentence structure journey. Look how young that guy was. That's wild. James says the word material pertains to solid matter instead of conceptual matter, e.g. intellectual property. In the main, to the best of my knowledge, that is what I was getting at. Apologies, thanks, I'm talking too much. Let me read that again. The word material pertains to solid matter instead of conceptual matter, e.g. intellectual property. In the main, to the best of my knowledge, that is what I was getting at. All right. So then I say, oh, that's the video. Query of a viewer's volition. That's the shorts video you just watched. And then I said, please share your correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, finite meaning of the term material, and we will compare closure. So then James says, material, see matter, matter, thing, affair, concern, material of thought, speech, or action, subject of substance or discourse, source, Oxford Dictionary of English Etymology. And then I say, thank you for sharing Oxford's adverb, verb, adjective, pronoun, fiction, babble definition of material. However, I asked you for your correct sentence structure, finite mean of material, not someone else's. Instead, you gave me a fiction, babble, copy, paste. Is Oxford Dictionary the authority and governor of your grammar? If so, then I completely understand your inability to share what I asked you for. Now, again, this is a test, right, to see if someone can listen or read and cognize what I'm asking, because correct sentence structure is a very specific technology. And if you have a difficulty following straightforward, no bullshit direction, then you're probably going to have issues learning this grammar. You're going to have to learn, train yourself to have laser-like focus. That's how contract works. Especially you have better contract performances when you actually cognize the volition behind the words. And not only that, but to be able to smoothly flow with the vibrational domain of the other contract party. Instead of, another way to say that would be, some people, when they listen to you or read what you're saying, what you're writing, are creating something totally different in their heads. They're not really listening to you. They're waiting to respond. They're not listening to what you're saying. So they kind of drop some assumptions in there. You see what I'm saying? Then James does attempt a correct sentence structure finite mean, and they say, for the finite mean of material is with the solid touch sensation by this claimant's cognition. Right off the bat. We're missing a allodial here between of and material. We're missing a hyphen between finite and mean. Looks like there's a double space between material and is. We're missing an apostrophe between T and S here, and a hyphen between claimants and cognition. So that means for is a pronoun, the is an adverb, finite is an adjective, mean is a pronoun, of is an adverb, material is an adjective, is an adjective, with is a pronoun, the is an adverb, solid hyphen touch hyphen sensation is an adjective, by is a pronoun, this is an adverb, claimants is an adjective, and cognition is a pronoun. So then I say, thank you. Although you are missing a allodial, an apostrophe, two hyphens, and your spacing is inconsistent, nice try. Notice I use the words tool, matter, material in the video. Specifically, the words matter and material cover the areas you are pointing out in your first comment. Before we go further, have you parsed the word material, i.e. researched the earliest nativity root meanings of the word particles? Predictably, the conversation ended there once I challenged James to step up to the plate and show the research and show how far they're willing to go to learn this stuff. So as a gift to James, I will do the work for him so that you also can benefit, you the viewer. So a Google search of the etymology of the word material says it originates from mid-14th century Middle English, stemming from Old French material and late Latin materialis, of or belonging to matter. It derives from the Latin noun materia, matter, stuff, wood, timber, which is rooted in mater, mother. Very important to realize that because material has three particles by my cognition. The M-A, T-R-E-R-I, and the A-L, earthly, corporeal. So another way to think of it would be M-A, meaning mother or source, terra, earth, firm, terrain, and an A-L is contract. So it's a contract with Mother Earth. Pretty simple, right? M-A, that particle, shortening of mama, mother, okay, we know that. Then terra, Latin word for earth, Proto-Indo-European to dry, terrestrial, and an AL, of, like, related to, pertaining to, which means contract. So there is your grammar lesson, James. Free of charge, my gift to you. Again, if you're serious about this grammar, feel free to reach out at jasonmatthewg17@gmail.com and apply for workshops. Now, when you come onto this channel and you leave comments like that, I appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate the opportunity to share this type of knowledge with folks. But also keep in mind, the video, like I said earlier, that you commented on was years and years old. It's sort of like, I viewed it as sort of like me, who doesn't really know too much about building motor vehicle engines, coming up to someone who's building a motor vehicle engine who has been doing it for 9 years and say, wouldn't you rather, couldn't you do it this way instead of the way you're doing it? And then the person that's been building engines for 9 years looking at me like, you don't know the first fucking thing about building engines, do you? That's kind of like the way I looked at your comment, James. Just to be totally blunt with you. And of course, that might be my ego speaking. Matter of fact, it probably is. And so, I didn't mean to be too harsh on you. If I was, I humbly apologize to you for that. It's just I'm very passionate about this stuff. And there are over 1,300 free videos on this channel to study. And I know you got to start somewhere, and I know you're a beginner. I mean, I had 2,000 hours of study before I even made a correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar, document, contract, postal vessel, court, venue, and even then I did not have closure on it. And this doesn't even touch on the syntax aspect of the whole thing. Parse, I will say, is the most important thing, and I noticed our conversation in the comments field stopped when I challenged you to parse something. I have to really stress that parse is probably the most important part of this grammar. So you might as well start now, because the more parse time in the water you get under your belt, the better. All right, thanks for joining me. Que sera, sera.
you.